Guys,
Next
you
time
have tape for me.
Congrats.
Hello, everyone.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Adeline. 6-time world champion.
6, I know.
How's the feeling?
Great. I mean, I'm better than 5 world championships of 6, so this 6th one feels good. Jordan's still chasing me, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, he caught you for 2 days.
I know. Like, this can't happen.
Finals, first period here and there, but
Yeah.
you just came out in the second period. So.
I did, yeah. You know, I think it's just about opening up and finding my moments. And people are smart. They understand what my first attacks are, and a lot of times they're able to score with those first attacks. So when you watch enough film, you're able to kind of understand some of those positions. But I'm a smart wrestler and can adjust, and that's what a smart wrestler does, is make those mid-match adjustments. And my coaches, I think, really helped me understand where my power was, and I got into a few positions where I felt where my strength truly is.
What was the message down 4-0 from the corner, and what were those adjustments?
I mean, you can score. The leg's there. Get in deep on your shots. I don't think anything really changed from what we said at the beginning of the match. I think it was just truly believing in those positions and feeling that spot. I mean, I got into that underhook deep. We were on the edge, and the scramble didn't go my way, but it's kind of the name of the game in a lot of ways. And just know that when I do get in deep on those shots, people really struggle to scramble with me.
You seemed as excited about the pin.
The pin, I know! How many times did you get 4 pins all the way through the World Championships? Honestly, I was so jealous of Helen when she scored that 41-0, and Suzuki Yui doing the 42-0 at the Olympics. I mean, that's dominance, that's power. I mean, that's dynamic wrestling and not letting people score on you. And so to have 4 pins through a World Championship, I've never done that. That's groundbreaking for me. So I was pretty pumped about that. Usually I like to tech people, but this pinning thing is going pretty well. I definitely owe that to my sister. I pin her very often, so we can thank Geneva for getting pinned in multiple different ways, and she has. I've been able to train with her for a year now, so she's actually really been frustrating me and forcing me to find new ways to keep people on their back and make them feel like a turtle down there. And you can tell when people get on their backs, they don't know which way to turn, and I understand how to move and where to adjust, and that's because I have a great training partner who's big and strong and has forced me to improve my wrestling. So very thankful that she has challenged me in new ways.
Adeline, Olympics seemed like yesterday, right? How did you get refocused and ready to come out here and put it on the line again?
I didn't, it was a struggle every single day, and my coaches were talking me into this every step, even before we're going out there. It's just too short of a time period to cope with everything that happens, good and bad. I mean, the Olympics, you end up with some memories and experiences that can only happen with something as special as the Olympics, and it takes time for those to process and for those to become part of you, and it's just there hasn't been enough time, and I just feel like this buzzing high has kind of stayed through the Olympics, because 14 days later we had to decide whether or not we were doing this World Championship, and it was like still a blur. I was still on Japanese time in the sleep schedule when we were trying to be told if we were going to wrestle at these games, because they had to have trials, and the pressure there just never let up. And so coming back in, Sarah and I had a lot of heart-to-hearts, and there were a lot of moments where we're like, we're not going to do this, and the next day we're like, let's do it for the team, let's beat Japan, and then the next day we're like crying in the sauna, like, why did we do this? This is so hard. So there's just been a roller coaster, and I mean, not much different than what the Olympics are from that standpoint, where you have your high and low days. It's just the focus seems a little bit more clear versus coming into this year after the Olympics. I mean, especially when I saw the lineup of people and saw how many number ones aren't there, I looked at Terry, I'm like, why are we sending our number ones and no one else is? And so it just was a lot of decisions that came along the way, and I'm glad we did this, but it was definitely hard and wouldn't recommend it.
What was the feeling looking from Kazakhstan?
From Kazakhstan? Kazakhstan had a purpose. I mean, there was a purpose of qualifying for the Olympics and solidifying myself into a position where I could be dominant at the Olympic Games. And so there's like a lot of steps along the way where all of a sudden you become your Olympic team on that day, like you're in the finals, you're so close. So the Kazakhstan has just a lot of weight to it, I guess, that year before the Olympics, World Championships, and it's the toughest one. Everyone sends their team. It's the easiest spot to qualify because we qualify at most spots there. So that definitely is one of the hardest World Championships you'll come up against, and I think I got a great draw there and had a great performance, but definitely has a different feel than the year after the Olympics when you're like coming off, everyone's kind of all over the place. We're still dealing with COVID. I mean, it's just, this one feels thrown together and trying to get back to some normalcy and trying to put the world back on track, because we're just getting into this next year go, go, go.
So would you put that title as your best one?
I think 2015 was my favorite, just because it's hard and home soil. I mean, that's so special, and I'm so bummed that Grace Boland didn't pull out her win today. I really wish that draw didn't happen. I feel like that could have been a finals or a semifinal matchup, and I think that just goes to show that we still have some adjustments to be made on how we rank things, because top women like that shouldn't be meeting up in the first round. I've been stung like that before. I wrestled China in the first round, and I think that was 2014, and 2015 we're in the finals together as the best two women in the world. So yeah, we still have some adjustments to be made as a sport, and I think we just need to make those adjustments to make sure that some of those matchups end up with like that experience that we can truly have with some great wrestling. I mean, great wrestling happened that match, don't get me wrong. It just wish we could have had it highlighted a little later.
Adeline, people are going to ask you quickly, as always, what's next, right? I mean, next year, next Olympics.
We're gonna go sauna at the little like thing and get in the water. That's my next thing that I'm doing. So yeah.
As Jordan Burroughs put it in word exactly, he's certified, you certified as a legend, with 6 championship. I mean, you are a legend in women wrestling and women sport. I'm talking about regarding the Iranian women, the Iranian wrestlers. You know, wrestling is a national sport in Iran, but women are not allowed to wrestle like you. You know, they have to wear a hijab and belt with wrestling.
Yes.
What is your message to Iranian women that it might inspire them to do and continue pushing to get this one day on a mat?
Oh, I mean, if you look at the legacy that Iran has with men's freestyle and men's Greco-Roman wrestling, it's incredible to see how dominant and how passionate they are with the sport, and so much real care for the sport, honestly. And I just hope that for the women. I mean, there's been so much that men get because they get to step on this mat and get these experiences and learn how to be leaders, learn about their bodies to stay healthy, to build mental strength. I mean, there's so many pieces there, and women should have a piece of that. And so I think that is all we're talking about, is just that access to sport is just opportunity, and it allows for growth, and growth in our society is a good thing for men and women. So I just encourage those women to keep working hard, keep asking questions, keep getting better, and just really put in the effort there, and hopefully they fall in love with this beautiful sport, because it really can make you feel that you are strong and powerful and dynamic, and words that can truly mean some strength in your soul.
I appreciate it. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
If you can pinpoint one, if you can pinpoint one moment in the final that you think is a turning point.
I think the last couple seconds of the first period, when I got that underhook and had her head down, I really felt like I stepped my hips in. Estonia's strong. She's one of the strongest women, I think, in our bracket. And so for me to be able to put that pressure in and get my hips in felt really, really special. And I felt like that was the moment where I was like, I can win this match.
She came out in the second period, got to that low-level shot. You fought it off. When she stood up, deep breath. Did you sense her start to get a little tired at that moment?
I don't think so. I think her conditioning is pretty on point. She didn't seem to really fatigue in my like strength-wise. She definitely still had pressure. I think that I just was a little bit faster and a little bit more dynamic in some of the positions that I was able to attack in.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Congratulations.